Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.
Okay, so welcome back, and let's just review quickly what we discussed in the first lecture, or the first part, okay? So, if we assume that we have, or if we believe that we have a program which will get sad face to be a happy face, it means people who have pain points to achieve happy outcomes, okay? If you don't assume you have such a thing, walk away from the door, okay? This is the foundation we have to start with. Now, we can take the hand of the public step by step, like baby steps. The public or the general will be an audience. We'll transform them to interested audience or targeted audience. We get their contact information to be a lead. From the contact information as a lead, we can have a conversation with them to be prospect. If we offer them a free tool or a free part of our program or a free tryout, or you can call it also low entry nugget or whatever, they will be a client. From client, they will be customers, means they are paying me money. And from customer, I can upsell them. I can ask them for referral, and I can ask them, and I can retire them from my program, which basically they don't need to. So when you walk today to a restaurant and you eat, you were a customer, they can ask you for referral, or you come back for a dinner for 10% discount, or a Valentine's Day event, for example. They can do that. They can also ask you to give you coupons, like, you know, when we go to birthday party, usually the jumping, whatever it is, event where the kids are jumping, they give each one of the kids a voucher for like $10 instead of $15, $25. This is approaches where how people execute this part of the model. I didn't meet anyone who has such a complex model. So the question will be, what is the appropriate message I can drive when I'm staging these different individuals? We found out that if you don't have a model like that, to get 80% of your customers like that, you have no business. No sustainable process in place to create and grow your business. If you have pieces of it, it's great, just continue or complete or augment the other pieces. Now, what is the message for people in this entry level? The message will be around benefits. And the benefits are very straightforward. You can use them as the quadrant benefits. What's the benefit for value, money, credibility, relationship, and impact, personal influence, process information, or time urgency benefits? I can do it for you right now. It's great. I have a step-by-step process. It's great. I will transform your life to a better life. Is awesome. I will give you the program which is Queen Anne used. I have credibility for this, right? So the potential will be is we must have a language which is segmented into 4 different values. Which one I will lead with will be based on the person talking to. If I have multi-persons with an S at the end, if I have multi-persons talking to, which language I will use, I will figure out the majority of them. And then I start to lead with the relevant segment. How many statement or paragraph or sentence should I say? Minimum of 4, because I have to have one to cover each pain. So what I'm saying here is, you don't ignore the other triggers, but you lead first with what the majority of the audience you predict. And there are ways to protect it. Like if you go to like healing energy event, most likely which ones are? And from, so most likely be, if I'm going to a real estate home-based investment event, most likely will be what? Will be either here or here.
Yep, a process to make money.
Okay, so there is nothing wrong. The problem I see is when you practice this in front of others, as we notice each one of us, based on who we are here, we speak this language. We link to this language, we connect this language. So I meet individuals who will always tell you how we will make your life great, how you will make life, but they will never tell you that they will increase your smile, they will increase your satisfaction, they help you stronger building a relationship with your partner, they increase your influence, they increase your impact. They will always tell you how it works. But if I'm in a relationship, do I care about how much? It's not my first interest. Maybe my second, maybe my third. The limitations we also notice is people will usually be two quadrant aside. We couldn't find anybody to be opposite. The opposite are always diverging. So if you realize that someone had this herb liquid they drink, this green tea, this green shake, they come with the nuts in a bag, they come with a complete set for keeping their food cold. These people care about themselves. So they are relationship. Most likely, they will be either a relationship with value, if you look at their customs, or there will be a relationship with process, if you look at their customs. These people will have dress up from Walmart and above. These people will get from Burberry and Kate Spade and below. Okay?
Sorry, what did you say about the P?
Process.
Yeah.
This will be Walmart.
Oh, Walmart.
Walmart style and above.
Okay.
And these people will be Burberry, Kate
Oh,
Morris?
the ego
Kate
driven.
Spade,
and down.
Michael Kors.
I think I'm,
No,
I think I'm an RP.
Why you are not a PR, public relation? Anyway, so no offense, no judgment, no decision making. This is just a starting point to conquer a message which can be engaged. That's it.
Got it.
Nothing say Walmart is bad.
No.
Nothing say Burberry is bad or good. Okay, and I always tell the story. I hate Sears I always hate Sears because I found it like it's not an interesting place to be in, not a classy place to be in. And when Sears in Canada shut down, I found out so many things we used to buy from Sears, we cannot find alternative for. That's right. Like there are beddings, there are some very light equipment. Like we always go to check the prices there. Like if you need to have fridge.
Yeah.
When they shut down Sears outlet, which was to be on 64 Mall, we lost. Like where do you buy any other fridges? That's right.
You hated them.
Yeah, but usually it's not my first choice. This is my personal experience. I don't like it. It's not my first choice. However, when they disappeared, I found a gap.
Yeah.
And I'm asking today in the Canadian market, where is the gap? Where people with average income will go to? Because the Bay, for example, have been transformed to this very fancy, high end. That's right. The Chinook Center have been transformed along the way. So we used to have Zellers, we used to have Sears, which is I hate. We used to have the Bay in a different lower bracket. That's right. So and even the new malls are outlet related malls. So for an average income person of like $30,000 to $40,000, where they will buy? They usually didn't have Walmart, and when Target came to fill the gap of Zellers, we used to have a brand. Now in Canada, this level don't exist. So what do you say?
Yeah, no. So now people are using Costco, or they use these Lowe's and these type of stores because they got everything in them. You know, they got the washers, the dryers, and all the things you normally went to Sears to buy, and they're all price oriented.
Yeah. So this is kind of a gap have been made in the market here by these stores are closing down.
Right.
Okay. So nothing. I don't judge people. I don't take a race oriented or a sex oriented or a lifestyle orientation or dislike. I basically want to position myself open minded where I will have an engagement because I believe I have a sad face to a happy face journey, which will be made by what? By defining moment of join my program. That's right. So, can I get your service without joining your program?
No.
I can get, if I client, I can get something, but I can't, okay? Now, what are the pain points? So if you agree on this quadrant, the question is, which is a little bit deviated of what's the topic, but what are the pain points? So if I want to come here and say, can you list the pain point you solve? Can anyone take a challenge? What are the pain points you solve?
Blockages. Blockages about awareness.
What else? Because blockages is only relationship.
Mhm.
Would it be a physical pain?
No, there are 3 other quadrants
Oh, right.
where they have a relationship.
So there's 4 different
That's
pain.
why these models are not for you to study and go through an exam in the classroom at the end. No, these models has to be living pieces in your brain. You have to change and switch your mind. You have to practice enough in front of people who know these models, so it becomes direct way. So removing blockage from relationship is one. A step by step to remove blockage, I'm covering here. Right away with the first session, I am covering here.
Right.
Okay? To give you the best value and the best engagement of your life, I'm covering the fourth one. So saying I remove blockage, thank you very much, is one quadrant.
Okay.
Is it a step-by-step program? Is it a procedure? Is it a proven technique? You cover the second quadrant. Can you do it in like 3 sessions, in 1 session, in 4 sessions? You are covering the time. Have been approved by a board, have been approved by like a very senior researchers who's doing market studies for big companies. I give it the value. So do you understand now what are the pains you are solving? So when you stand and talk about, people here have blockage, they don't know what to do. There is no system in place. Whatever they try, it did not give them, or whatever they practice, it did not give them the results they like. And usually they do a program which is not proven and is not vetted by others and does not have. This is our 4 pain point covering. So how do I come with this language? By visualizing in front of me that it's 4 quadrant. If you don't remember it, just write them here. Do whatever. But if you talk about with somebody here, they don't care about the system you have. They don't care about the blockage. They care about Oprah, Seinfeld, Will Smith.
Verification.
Yeah, who have the credibility? They care about your degree. They care about your certificate. They care about your license. Based on what you do, we are not talking about specific market. We talk about framework where you can plug in based on your personal skills and expertise.
Is that when testimonials would make sense in that quadrant
Mhm.
for
To a
credibility?
And
degree.
you are ahead of us. You are ahead of us.
Uh-huh.
Because a testimonial will be what? A testimonial will be one thing to bring social proof, authority.
Right.
And the testimonial is a stool of 3 legs. Pain point, happy outcome, and defining moment. What's the pain point I was struggling with? And what make me decide to join your program? Or what make me get you to know you? And what is the happy outcome I achieve? And you'll be surprised once you say a testimonial and you say, I so and so have been struggling in my life. I had this negative relationship. Kids are shouting to me. I couldn't feel where I'm belonging. I was struggling. I was really close to suicide. Do you guys agree? People will say, yes, agree. Do you agree on what? They agree that their pain point is very similar. And when I joined the XYZ program, I was able to motivate myself again. I gained trust of my community. I was able to rise. I was getting maybe the election. I was able to get my sweetheart or my honeymoon or whatever it is, and I. Do you guys agree? People will say yes. Agree on what? It's a testimonial of a person. So when they say agree or say each one agree on
Just
this,
I relate. That's what they're really saying.
they relate that this happy outcome is my ultimate goal. So what's the missing piece now?
How you did it.
Joining your program. So do you understand how this relates? So as I said, if you don't have, I always say if you believe, because some people has to first believe in that, but not, you have to agree also that's not all programs work for everybody. Okay, so maybe we debate if really you have a value to provide or not, but it doesn't matter.
Sorry, but besides in your pillars down below, you've got consistent.
I will be
30
coming, I'll be
social
coming.
program. What's the third one say? Likeness of
Or appreciation.
or appreciation.
Yeah. So when I have this language, the way to deliver this language, I have to observe the conduit of information to the audience. The audience will understand by their will hear or see or experience by their brain. Means they need to know logic. People will have experience by heart, which means feelings. People will have experience by feet, which means they need to know the steps. They will only listen to your steps.
Process.
These are the process people. And then there are the guts people, which God bless you if you have guts, because they either buy or not. They don't need a sales process. When you communicate the message, you have to understand the kinesthetic audible. Because kinesthetic people in the wise age, in the highly wise age, when you lose lots of senses and you be challenged with having hearing aid and visual aid and glasses and reading glasses, we will always focus on this. So if you talk to a wise group, you have to watch the dynamic, because if you are so dynamic, you will conquer and relate to this digital visual. You need to have a visual poster. You need your poster has to be visually good. When you draw and write and you paint, you link visual individuals. However, you might have audible and you might have kinesthetic. So you have to be able to explain your visual material to the audible.
Yep.
So doesn't matter I have a visual material here, I explain it. You have a one lead to the other, lead to the other. So people who are audible, they can actually listen to me. And people can come audible when people will be multitask. Like Mike is multitask right now. He's following something, but he's also always listening to me. So he act right now as the audible. There are other people who will sit in front of you and will point their ears to you. They will never have an eye contact with you. And you'll feel, oh, they are ignoring me. No, they are not ignoring you.
They're absorbing you.
They're absorbing you with the conduit of choice to convey the information through.
Their eyes almost distract them from understanding. They turn their eyes away so they can hear to absorb. Yeah.
And that's, if you don't agree with that, you have to remember that the radio at certain point was the only way for communication.
That's right.
That's right.
We grew up with the radio.
That's right. So people having radio, having podcasts,
Yep.
and they communicate with it.
That's right.
People cannot listen to podcasts. They don't learn from anything. They can learn if the podcast has visual to it. So if you challenge this concept, remember that you used to watch the hockey game on radio because there was no TV at the time.
Yeah.
How you will watch it? Because the guy was big. I cannot watch hockey or basketball on radio because I don't know the players, first of all. Secondly, I don't know the exact rules of the games, okay? So when I listen to this, I just like shouting, you know? So you have to appreciate your audience types. If you want to keep doing what you are doing is good, God bless you, no problem. But you have to understand that you are basically leaving these people out of the table. Nothing wrong with that. If you are wealthy enough, you don't care, you don't care.
Let me ask a question. When you are developing a marketing plan, when you first determine what is of the world population, what is the target, your largest target market? For example, I would assume,
So you have to understand.
targeted audience.
You have to understand your audience
Right,
and their pain point.
right,
But this conduit
right,
and the way to convey the messages is orthogonal.
right,
It doesn't matter.
right. It goes back to the same thing.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I meet the standard marketers, they say, "Oh yeah, so this is a girl which is 20 to 30 years old, living downtown. Her name is Janetta. Oh yeah, this is a good physical characteristics of someone on this line here. We never said Jeanette or John to be sex neutral, or someone. We never said what's their triggers, how we can convey a message to them, what they will interested in. They never talk about this, because they basically stop here and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Develop your avatar." Okay, what's my avatar? It's not arranged, it's an individual. That's great. So who's my avatar? Is Jean, who is working downtown, and she goes to make her hair 16 times a week, and she had a professional makeup make 12 times a week, and she drives this jumbo car with unidentified color, and she wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning in the gym. Oh, these all are physical description of an ultimate avatar here. So, or an ultimate avatar here, and then describe how you will talk to her. How you will talk to her is here. So I'm not coming and say this kind of avatars are wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is the message developed for these avatars need to be positioned in this approach.
Right.
Without the avatar, you will hang around in the wrong crowd. But if you are in the right crowd, what will you say and how will you say it? Make sense?
And if I might add,
Go ahead.
one of the ways to find that out is to start by asking questions of the person, so you can get a feel for where quadrant they operate from. That's
Yeah,
probably-
if you have the luxury of having questions, you can. If you are one on many, you may not have the luxury, but you can ask common questions.
Right.
There are so many ways.
Yeah.
But before you ask these questions, you need to be prepared for us to speak to this different pain. And I want you to go out for the next 2 weeks, and whenever you go on a presentations, just listen to how many people will tell you how they are doing it, not what they are doing it, why you have to join, and how immediate results can come to you. Because this is the nature of Calgary. Calgary is a white collar oil and gas people. Majority of them, when they got fired, they want to go sell, but they sell to themselves. Nothing wrong with them. They're basically not aware. They are like Fred and Mary. They were in the black and white environment. They walked out and say, "Okay, here is a color. Can you tell us what this color is?" They don't know other what they have in their environment. And this is the challenge they have. After they lose all of their money, they become frustrated, they become poor, they cannot do, because they don't give them chance to learn how to apply this knowledge. Now, when you provide any piece of material, even your business card, you must observe these checklists, or I call them pillars of mindless compliance. The idea is I want people to get to join my journey without engaging their mind. Okay? And it goes to one very simple example have been made in 1937. They said, if you stand in line, and this example you can do it daily in Costco. Go with one item, a birthday cake, and go on Sunday afternoon. How big are the lines on Sunday afternoon in Costco? Go with this cake and go to any front individual.
I can read your writing, I can't read this.
Go to any front line and say, "Would you mind if I pay for the cake because I am hurry and I will be late for the birthday?" Most likely what they will say. Go right ahead. But what about if you tell them, "Can I pay for the cake before you?" What they will say. Okay. And what about if you say, "Can I pay for the cake ahead of you because I want to pay for the cake ahead of you?" Okay. So for the first question, 94% of the people will say yes, go ahead. For the second question, without because language in it or because a statement in it, 60% will allow you to go ahead. And for the last question, 93% will let you go ahead. Because the word "because" will dim everything after it. We believe people hear every single thing we say. The minute you say "because," people will understand you have a valid reason. If even the reason is what? Because I want to do it, okay?
Because I want to.
And these studies have been done by Stanford. This behavior psychology studies have been made. So that's why we know that because is one of the top 5 powerful word for compliance. However, if you have a complete cart or you have 4 to 5 items in your hand and you come and say because, people will not care, they will not let you in. So it has a limitation of application. It does not work all the time. So we know if you carry these 7 pillars with you or 7 checkpoints with you, people will have a better compliance to your offer. So if you are consistent means what?
Every day.
Consistent means my message is consistent. It means what? I am talking to one customer, I am showing one service to one guy. If they go to the website, they see the same messages. If they get my business cards, they see the same messages. I will be standing here in a different way. So this is what consistency means. Reciprocity means what? I give, I get.
I give, I get.
Yeah. So if I give everything I know, most likely people will come to join my program. This is a concept of reciprocity. That's why when you do marketing material, you need to write in them case studies. You need to give them learning and education about what you can do for them. Then, if you create an urgency message to it through a call to action or through a special offer or why do you wait, this will get you what? Closer to compliance. If you give them likeness or appreciation, how do I give likeness or appreciation? If I am on the stage, I will ask, raise your hand, yes or yes. I will ask their engagement in my presentation. If I am on a webinar, I will go and say, can you go to the comment and write if you agree or not. This if I am on a written document or a blog, how I can get likeness appreciation? I can tell stories about my clients. I can use testimonials. So there is nothing stop you from applying the concept no matter what kind of media you provide. You need always to have the social proof. You need always to have a tool which people will stand for. So if I talk about 94% of businesses are struggling and I have a solution, it's a social proof that my service is in demand. If I work with 100 business, with 120 business, with 200 business, 100 is too little if somebody has 1,000, but it gives you also a social proof. When I go to your Facebook groups or in Facebook pages and I see like 1,000, 10,000 people like your page, you have a social proof. Okay? That's it. So will it hurt? Like I was sitting with a social marketer the other day, and it's actually an individual which I will be working with to help him putting a complete program out. His program is like $50,000 program, and he said, "Yeah, we want you to sit with my team." So I said there he has a social media marketer, and I told him like I showed the concept. So I said social proof means if I go to your page, how many like and follower on your page? He said, okay, so how many do we have? She said like she had like 27 or 47. I told him, so if you have 47, will I come pay you $5,000 for a program when you have 47? So the very first step is to spend $3 a day for the next 10 days to get like through Facebook advertisement. She looked at me and said, you know what? This is against your values. We don't buy. I have a friend who had like 100,000 followers and only 4 or 7 interacting to her own posts. I said, you know what? There's one point here. People are ignorant to me. Ignorant means they need one thing. How many of us, when they see likeness on like 10,000, 11,000 on a page, they will go and inside and see how many people will like and comment on individual posts? How many of us? Not many.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Not many. The second point which stands out for me is you are a social marketer. And the part of the social marketing is to do paid advertisement. And the Facebook and the LinkedIn allows advertisement to create more follower by like pages. So if you come and say this against your core value, you have a fundamental problem with your role. Because it's a legitimate approach to market to get more likes to a business page, which basically buying likes. So if a social media marketer disagree on that, it means that we disagree on you doing advertisement on CNN. Because if you advertise on CNN, you'll be what? Pushing your message on others.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense to me. So you can apply each one of these based on the media and based on your what you want to say. It's your business, not mine. You also need to have an authority. And the authority can come through your personal story. The authority can come to you through your certificate, your education, your influence of people. It can come through your passion. It can come through that I'm the one who's struggling like you guys, and I went and I studied 16 different business systems. None of them worked for me. Each one gave me a little bit. Then I read these 20 books, and I figured out the way it works. And now I'm sharing with you the way it works. This is my authority. I was here before you, and I got it. There is nothing wrong with these authorities. But you have to speak it out. You have to spell it out. You have to have it out there. Who are you? So if you have a PhD, if you have a master's degree, if you are a certified educators, and you do education work, it's good. But if you have a PhD in engineering and you do healing touch, it doesn't work. That's right. So you have to have the authority, not the credibility. The authority. What authorizes you to be the point of reference in what you do? And at the end, you need to have the commitment. The commitment basically means they have to write down, I have to agree, they have to commit to what you want to do next. Okay? Any questions so far?
Just on the commitment, in the sales process, you're basically you're asking them for their commitment.
Yep.
So it's how do you ask them is really what you're focusing on now.
So inside the presentation, I should give them at the end a signing sheet. Inside the presentation, I can ask them to sign up for my the email, to submit the email to our website. Inside the presentation, I can ask them to download free app, or I can download through an SM message. If I'm sitting in front of somebody, I had a form on one-on-one where people will write down what's their call to action. What is the action for next time? I shared with you sometimes, right? There's a specific pink form we developed. If people are coming to a follow-up, you ask them to write the follow-up reminders. You don't write it for them. You don't write it for them. Because the studies showed if people will write their next appointment in clinics, the show up in follow-up meetings will be about 13 to 18% higher, because they basically write down in their notes that they are coming Wednesday at 1 o'clock. You are not writing it for them as a receptionist.
Right.
It's a very small thing. Having a pen over there, saving yourselves the time, and let them to write it, or they put it in their calendar, they commit to it. So based on where you are, you can deploy. And the best way, if you have enough clients, that you do the A/B testing. If you are not going, A/B testing means I will do one with commitment, I will do one without commitment, and I can evaluate the results over a month or 3 months. So I can do 2 alternative techniques, and I can measure which one will convert. So each one of these pillars, and if you go to my talk, Mindless Compliance, I have the exact example from the industry about each one of these pillars and why it has a higher level of mindless compliance. Okay. Now, if I look at this messages, if you are doing social media by somebody else, if you have a virtual assistant, if you want to do a website by somebody else, you need to convey these messages to them. You need to write to them how they can write these messages. Okay? So this is a quick review of what we did. Now, the question will be is, how will I apply this in a presentation style? So the quick overview I will give is on a presentation, webinar, or video. So if I have a video, Mike, don't forget this. Keep them with you. I will just send people over. Keep them with you for now. I'll call you.
You don't want any of them?
I'll call you.
Okay.
So when I come to a webinar, seminar, or a video, which one do you want to start first?
Webinar or video, because both are kind of sort of the same.
Okay.
I don't know the difference between a webinar and a video, to be honest with you.
Well, a video would be already a canned present thing you click and deliver. So
it's not live video.
It's not live. Often webinars are live, but they also can be replays, which is like a video as well.
Okay. So I will give you the essence of this, because I'm the one who put it, so you have to ask me first, what are the difference? So in my sales funnel, I have my program here. This is the program which will get me the highest number of engagement or the highest value for the dollar, from dollar perspective. So what's your program? This should be the program which give me the largest number or the largest dollars. So if your program is a workshop 3 days, this is your program. If your program is one-on-one healing, this is your program. So you need to come up with one product, which is one program, and you have for this an example. And you have been doing this for some time. So these programs will have benefits and will have features. People will come for the benefits and people will pay for the features. How many of you here will pay to go have an experience inside a restaurant without eating a meal? Did you pay entry fees to go have an experience in a restaurant without buying a meal?
No.
Okay. So you go for a restaurant for the experience, but what makes them make money out of you is the feature, is the meal, is the drink, is the pub, is the water, whatever you pay. That's right. We will go for excursion or trip to Banff. That's right. To enjoy the mountains. How many of us will pay to enjoy the mountains? We don't. We pay for the food or the activity,
We're in the mountains.
Or the cost of being in the mountains.
or the cost of, or the entry ticket to go to the mountain. Okay? How many of you will enjoy the guide in the gondola? Like, it's the same. You will find people will just come for the benefit.
Or for the hot springs.
A benefit.
Or the benefit.
And you pay for what?
To go in their pools.
You pay for the features. You pay entry ticket. So when you sell people, you sell them on what? And when you collect,
The features.
you collect on the features.
So
So how many of you can articulate what kind of benefits for their top program? Now on this product line, and by the way, this product line matches
$7.
matches here. Okay? So after people come to my program, I may have segmented some of them to be upsold on one product, which may be the one-on-one. Like if you do a workshop, if you do a seminar, if you do a mastermind group, you may give them extra workshops. That's right. So you may have one or two products here. Now, how you would get people to get inside your program? You may have a workshop, and you may have a presentation or a seminar. So presentation seminars are specific signature talks to funnel people to your own next step. So in some occasions will be the the complimentary.
Complimentary session.
So if this is a complimentary sessions, it's okay. If this is 3 days workshop, it's okay. If this is an online subscription, it doesn't make a difference. What does this represent? I don't care. I can design it for anything, but I have clarity. When I stand and give the presentation for 20 to 90 minutes, seminar, webinar, the only reason for this presentation is to do what? To sell my program.
Correct.
Full stop. I'm not here to educate you. I'm not here to hug you. I'm not here to kiss you. I'm not here to love you. I am here to get your signature to my next program. Okay? Now, to be able to get these people here, these people can come here through my business card. They can come here through my website. I may have blogs. I may have video education. So the video education can be like 5 to 20 minutes or up to 1 hour, where basically you have video snippets or short video.
Yeah.
The idea here is when you put this on the social media, Facebook right now, if you put this on your Facebook page, will track how many people will see more than 10 seconds and more than 30 seconds. So our last experiments is we pushed out alternative videos and we measure specifics about the videos. And we found out for $26 investment on Facebook, you can get somewhere between 1,100 to 1,600, which is about 25% average of people who see the video watch more than 10 seconds. So this for $26. So if I can offer you for $26 investment on Facebook ad, not to me, okay? A group of 1,500, let's call it, who likes your video and can watch it for more than 10 seconds. It means what?
They're engaged.
It means they are what? From here.
They're a prospect.
They are here.
They now become a target audience. Yep.
That's right.
Sun generated the lead, which is a target
So
audience.
if I put money to Facebook for another ad for $13 or $10 only to target this 1,500 who watch my video for more than once and ask them to give me my email, and I assume is 1 to 10 conversion, I will have 150 emails. If I send them messages or I make phone calls and convert to 1 to 10, I should be able to convert 15, maybe 2 to come to be my customers, or 1. So the total cost for getting 1 through the door, through the 6,000 people who watch your video, will be less than $100. It's much, 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 much less than anything else. Okay? So there are some hidden costs and some other tools you may have. But however, these videos now is one way to attract people. You can have them on Google, on YouTube, which is owned by Google. You have to load them to your Facebook. It will increase the engagement of people to your Facebook. And they don't have call to actions. They're just basically educational or answering questions. So when I talk about seminar, webinar, I talk about this seminar, webinar. When I talk about these videos, I talk about this video education.
What is the BC again?
Business card.
Oh,
Okay? So any activity you do toward your business which is not on this line, you have to stop doing it.
Say that.
Any activity
That,
you do,
yeah.
however, it does not exist in your own line, you have to stop doing it. Or you have to add it to the line somewhere. So if you go to a meetup events, when you cannot position it on this line, this meetup events is not for your business. It's for your own things. Don't fool yourself. So when you design your activities around this line,
Yeah.
you now have a good understanding what exactly you will do. And this is going toward your business.
Right.
If a brown lunch event or a presentation event which is not here, I will not do it. If I don't have here a presentation live, I have only seminars. If somebody invite me for a presentation live, I have to either add it here to the line or say no, I'm not doing it.
A presentation.
A presentation in person, like live presentation.
Okay, can you elaborate?
If you
Yeah.
planning to have webinars only,
Yes,
and you have your structure in this way,
yes.
and then somebody asks you for an in-person presentation
Yeah.
or live presentation, and it's not on your line,
Don't do it.
you say no, I'm not doing it.
Because it's not part of what you're trying to create.
Is not part of the 80% funneling approach. It's basically a waste of your time. If you have time and you want to do it just because it comes out of your free time, it's okay. And this will get you to focus what kind of events you attend. So you can your book, your ebook. You may have an ebook here. You may have a book here. If you remember the other line will talk about customers here. We'll talk about clients. We'll talk about prospects. We'll talk about lead. We'll talk about target audience, and general. You talked about upselling customers. You talk about referral customers. You talk about retired customers. They don't match one-to-one, but in the spectrum, you understand now. So who will have your business card?
The general.
Somebody will be here. No, somebody will be here. That's right. So I'm saying, that's why I'm saying, like in the spectrum, this line matches this line. Make sense? This is the product. For each one of this product, it must have a benefit, and it must have a feature. And the benefits for each one of these must be different than the other one. So what's the benefit of your business card?
To share your information,
And what else?
to call you,
And what else?
to research you.
Search information, call you, maybe it's time urgency. That's right. There is nothing. Benefits are 4 quadrant. You know, to build a relationship and communication. That's right. To give you credibility. So when I get your business card, and I have a Gmail account on it, is there credibility in Gmail?
Less. There's not.
When I get your business card, and I have 2 different websites to go to, and I'm looking to you eye to eye, is this consistent? Yes or no? Can I hear it loud? That's why I'm looking to you, because I'm not here to tell people about what people business, but you understand now.
Yep.
When I come to your business card and I don't have a call to action to go to your website to download a book or download something, I am not converting offline to online traffic, because it's easy to manage online traffic, but also I am not doing reciprocity. I'm not giving you something. I'm just giving you a business card. So you can easily place on your website a report or an ebook or whatever, and you go on the back and say, to download this report, what you do? Go to this link. On my business card is aggressive to sign people to events. Okay? Now, Who will be interested to take your business card and go put their information in for an ebook or an event? Who will be interested here?
A prospect.
A prospect who is leading, giving you a lead, that's right? So when you transfer with a business card, that people will come to you in person and provide you their information. You basically, with your business card, you shortcut all of these to a lead. You are good with phones, which is a love. So once you have their information on the lead, what you do? And then you prospect them, that's right?
And I learn about them.
Which is prospecting. You have a dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And after the dialogue, you can offer them
A service.
a service or a free or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like in your case, I understand that these two are one stage. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your business. You are the one to judge your business, not me. So there is nothing wrong with saying we don't offer any free. Everything has to be paid for. Nothing wrong with that. You can run the business. This is our models, frameworks, which can be applied to any business. But it's a foundation. So you understand now why the business card need to have specifics. You understand now why you need to have a mailing address, physical address on your business card, because it gives. You understand?
Like your street address?
Oh yeah. Where will I sue you?
I never thought of that.
because you never been told. Like we used to run business card design sessions like a year and a half or 2 years ago, and I used to bring here 40,000 business cards, which is my personal collection. And we used to put them on the table here, and we used to tell you know what, if you know anybody, you don't say anything about this session, just for education only for you guys. Pick up the business card you like the most. So you will find a very interesting approaches in business cards. There are people who will do business card on metal,
Yep.
which I use it on metal. It's like a metal square business card. It's a very nice ice scraper. I have a few of them in my car, because when my windshield when my wipers is stuck, I can scrap with them. What is the reason for a business card? Right now, I will scan any business card in my Infusionsoft, and then what I will do?
So the card.
Throw the card away.
Right.
Okay. So if your business card is not readable to my online system, if your business card on both sides don't have a complete information how to reach out to you, it's not the right business card. Many people of us will put the business card, our name on the back, and all of our contact information on the front. So the business card will be two sides. Many of us will not put our business name on the back.
That's right. We don't. Why?
But if we have a downloadable, so there's so many things. There's actually, if you go to my online academy, you will find a business card design sessions. I don't care what you decide. You can do whatever. But I like to have a baseline, a reference, then I can do whatever I like. It's my business. I don't care about you. Okay, sorry. That's right. It's my business, my life. But I'm asking is, what are the parameters or the foundations of designing a piece of like business cards? So if I understand now a business card is a way, the benefit of my business card, the benefits are very straightforward. I will not write all of them, but the business are basically 4 things, that's right. I know them. And the features of the business card is what? They can download package. They will have the phone, the fax. Do you need a fax?
No.
Yes, you do. Because a fax means what?
Been around a long time.
A physical existence. I have a friend of mine, he has a telegram, because his dad used to be one of the earliest 7, or his great granddad. There used to be like one of 7 or 10 companies only in UK that they have a telegram. So their telegram is like London one. It's a very crazy, something very crazy like that. And when their marketing team removed it, I called him up. I said, I seen your new business card. Where is the telegram? He said me, we don't use it. I said, like, who used the telegram even 10 years ago? But guess what? If you have somebody has a telegram code, it means what? It means how long have been in business. These people have been in business for more than 126 years today. So do you wanna lose all of this for an extra line? That's nobody. How many of you here will get faxes or send faxes if they are not engaged in a legal action? Because only legal actions now send faxes. That's right.
I don't know.
How many? None. None. But so why big companies will still using faxes? Because I am open. You can communicate me whenever you want. I am real. I am physical. I exist. So the question will be, if you have a business card with a fax and you have a business card without a fax, they are doing basically the same function to you, the same benefit to you. Which one you will select? The statistics showed when you have more ways of communication, like a fax, which nobody will do, you will look as legitimate business.
Isn't there a reverse on that? Like, oh, he's got a fax, he's so out of date. If you're marketing to a younger generation.
But you have an email also, and you have
Yes, you do.
a handle. So having an extra line for a fax doesn't bother me.
I see. Okay. Fair enough.
So this is our open discussions. I'm not saying
They're 100% right or wrong here.
yeah. But so in a way, once you have a fax, you are a legit. How I will differentiate between your commitment to your business? Like when I started 3-4 years ago or 5 years ago, I had my own businesses, I had my own universities, I was teaching, I was doing great, okay? I was doing the best things ever in life. I achieved everything I need in my life. By the way, at 38 years old, I was ready to die. I did everything I need, except Nobel Prize. Every single award I wanted to get, I got. Every single achievement I did, I said, like, my life is over, I'm retiring. Then I had to come back to stay in Calgary for a personal reason, and then I had to figure out what I want to do. So when I started, I had so many business coaches around me. So many of them. You go to any event, business coach after business coach. What I want to do, I said I want to focus on business strategies for small business owners, people who are 4 employees or less, people who don't never been trained in sales, people who never been trained in operation, people who never been trained in, because if you are good sales, you never been in good fulfillment. You never had an operation experience. If you were a good operation management individual, you never understand sales. So I said, let's just do a blueprint and keep going. Over the years, everybody around me found a job. And I'm turning out jobs. I don't I got few colleges and few community colleges calling me to go teach courses there. I designed the course and then I said, I'm not around. I don't want to go to be an employee. I enjoy what I'm doing and I'm successful in doing it. So how you can measure the commitment of someone? If they have a Wix website, Wix and Weebly is a free website. If they have a Gmail account, if they have no mailing address on their card, they have no fax, they even don't have a website. Like, there are so many marketers will come and say, oh, you want to talk about this? We can talk. Okay, don't look at it now. There are many marketers will tell you don't need a website. It's too much. Just use a Facebook business page. This is fundamentally wrong.
I don't feel that would be workable.
There are many people who will go around. I was in a presentation in the Your Holistic Earth in the Feel Good Feast. Business from the Heart event. And I was the only male out of 9 speakers. So they put me at the end. Everybody else got half an hour. I was the only one getting 15 minutes. I can tell you so many things about being a male speaker in a Holistic Earth, okay? And then the 2 before me talk about you don't need a website. You can have a Facebook business page and you can run your business. And why do you need to bother with understanding a website? I come at the end, I was talking about
Credibility.
these models. So I ask a very simple question. How much will it cost you having a legitimate website? About $67. There's a company in Vancouver. They don't have any of this multi-level networking marketing stuff. This company in Vancouver will give you for $5 a year a URL, which is the address for the website, and which is like the address for your
Like
home.
a domain name.
Like a domain name, yeah. The address for your home. And then for $67 US, like less than $100 Canadian, the first year, unlimited emails, unlimited subdomain, unlimited access. So if you cannot afford paying $100 to invest in your business, why do you ask me for $50 an hour? That's a very simple question. How many here? Everybody will be 150 or 110 plus. So if you cannot afford investing 1 hour into a 1 year website presence, you are not in business. You are not committed. So why do I hire you? So many of us, based on their business card, they fail the subconscious and the unconscious mind test. I don't feel they are real. My business cards will not conquer with downtown. I have different business cards for downtown, which basically I don't have the grading colors. That's it. So when you assess what do you need to have in your business card, you have to put this material beside you. How you can establish credibility. You should also have another product sheet for your website. What's the benefits of me coming to your website?
Can I have a question about the business card
Sure.
again? So you said address, physical address. So like I have a mailing address, like a suite.
You can have, yeah.
Yeah.
You can go to UPS and
Oh,
they
that-
have
that's what
and
I
they have an address which is suite number. When I ran a business, which is I basically withdrawn from this address very recently. We used to be in Suncor Energy Building,
Yeah. So, but it's
and
a-
we wrote down Suncor Energy Building, Suite 337, 101 Fifth Avenue or 4th Avenue Southwest, which is basically the UPS store in the Suncor Energy Building. That's it.
But it's important to have that address on the business card.
It's important to have a physical address on the business card.
Okay.
There is an individual we are doing for him an international work. He's a decision-making advisor. He couldn't make it as well today. And he will have an address in Malaysia, in Canada, and in Germany. Because
shows he's got offices in those
because
places.
he works in international market. He works with Kuwait Oil. He works with big companies. He's Egyptian origin. It means obviously he has an address in Egypt.
Mhm.
But we couldn't use the address in Egypt because from the Gulf area, if you are local to the Gulf area, you are not trustworthy. So when we look at, and the funny part is he has a resident in Malaysia. So his only legitimate business address is in Malaysia. He's trying to figure out his residency in Canada. Okay. And his brother live in Germany. And him and his brother are consultant. They switch jobs based on that. So the more legit address is Malaysia, the functional address in Germany, and he lives in Canada right now. So how much stretch to the ethics level and the integrity level if we use these three addresses as a mailing addresses for communication?
And is it important to have an offer on the business card, like my complimentary sessions?
I would say complimentary sessions will be too aggressive.
Too aggressive?
However, if you send them to an event or you send them to a download, and maybe on the download you can give them the complimentary sessions. Because remember, like I printed 10,000 business cards for $200 delivered to Calgary from a company in Toronto. I only deal with Canadian companies. I hate Vista, Brent. I hate everything. I just do the stuff my own and to try as much as I can work with Canadian companies. So there is a company in Toronto for a 10,000 business card. It will be about less than $200 landed in Calgary within a week or so. Okay. So if you do that, you stuck with it. So the problem is I have the events, I have the seminars. Now I don't do much seminars, but I'm stuck with the free event on the back of my card. Okay?
Mm.
I was gonna ask that, cause I'll do a 500 card and then one for 500 cards, I'm like, you know what, I really prefer it this instead.
But you're always changing.
I'm always changing.
Yeah, so if you do the 500, then the 500 will be about 50. There is a lady from China, it's called Infinity Printing. Somebody we deal with here in Northeast, and they have also a downtown. Karen will do for $50 cash, double side, 4 colors. in 2 hours.
Wow.
500 business cards. So there are this local community here which they do stuff for very reasonable price. I also got for the wrestling, we got somebody in Southeast 9th Avenue Southeast who's do like $35 50 card. Like, so it comes back. It's very reasonable to print it, but what you will print. Now, when I went to VistaPrint, one of my former colleagues and partner, John McDonald, has a very nice business card. And they worked one event. We found 4 other people having the same design as their business card. Because this was the #1 selected design on VistaPrint.
Right.
That's why I don't do alike cards. If you cannot afford the card to be like everybody, do just a white paper card, very standard card. Make sure when you scan it, it will work. It can automatically be detected. So I can share with you last story on business cards. There is a Catherine Brownlee events as well. And somebody gave me a semi-transparent business card written with silver ink. So I was reading, have you ever received a semi-transparent business card?
It's silver, you can read it.
And then you can have the silver. So I looked at the card like this. I said, like, why do you challenge my eyes? Look at it. I was like 44 years old at the time. So like, I'm not even 45, man, and I cannot read. It's very hard to read. Like, why do you even bother having this expensive card? The guys look at me, and I asked for permission first. Like, I'm not doing. 2-3 months later, we went to the same. It was the same when Swan and Sow used to be in town before they went out of business. We used to meet there. So I went 2 months later or so, or 3 months later. I found someone coming like a bullet toward me. I don't know the guy. I didn't know. He's coming like a bullet toward me. And then he gave me a business card. It's not common to get a business card when you didn't even have a conversation. He said, what do you think about that? So I hold it and said, yeah, it looks nice. Who are you? He said, remember 2 months ago, we were standing in a very close spot to here, and you looked at my business card, which I was so proud of it for 6 months. And it was a semi-transparent with silver ink. And you were the first one who told me this card is challenging your age and will not get me business. I took your advice, I went around and I started to ask for opinion. I found everybody around me have similar opinion to you, but you are the only one who vocal the opinion to me. So I just changed the card in the week later, and I've been getting more business now for the last month and a half. So when I saw you, I felt that I have to come and say thank you. So I looked at him and said, yeah, it's great. You invested too much money in transparent business card for what? Nowadays, everybody's digital. Now, the other point, people usually say, oh, we don't have a business card. You know what? I have my digital business card. I'll give it to you. It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. Because if you don't have a physical business card, you have no credibility. You have no stability in your business. So I can run out of business cards, which is okay, and I can have a backup, an image of my business card or my contact. But when somebody says, say, oh yeah, we don't use business cards, it's an old fashioned, I'm not here for doing business with you. That's me.
I actually keep all my old business cards that I get from people. I have them in a section that I use.
It's good to keep them. It's also good to scan them and put them through Infusionsoft or any of this mailing system where you can basically keep connection with them. It's excellent to get this contact and to get the emails and put them to your LinkedIn and ask LinkedIn to connect with all of these people.
So creating a LinkedIn account is a pretty good thing to do.
We will talk about that. We will talk about the credibility. So having a business card, so how many of you will do business with somebody who doesn't have a business card and they give you soft contact information?
Almost zero.
I would check them out intuitively, and my gut says yes, this person, look further into this.
Right.
So
So
that's
when
not
you
enough
go-
of a reason for me
When you go to the show, like the show we went in, which is, by the way, not the best ever organized show, but this is why I like it. Like, I like to go like having a lunch with just a bunch of good people around us, right?
Yeah.
When you go to every single table, what you will find on the table, most likely,
Business card,
a business card.
of course.
So the displaying tables having what? A business card. So if you don't have a business card, it means what? You're not like them. You're not consistent. You're not a business. That's it. No matter how much you convince me, like, nothing wrong with coming to my business card and say, okay, I take a photo of it and say, I ran out of business cards that are in print, or I forgot them, and I give you this. But they must have a photo, and they must be seen physical sometimes.
Can I see what you have on the back?
I have the invitation for an event. The other ones which is we do right now, we have like downloadable thing, download a report. Or the idea is when people go and download, and you'll be surprised. Like, I went to a wrestling event, I put this free event on the table, and when I wake up next day, I found like 6 or 8. Every time 6 or 8 people will just sign up for the event.
For the wrestling event.
Out of the wrestling event.
Right.
And some of them, they have businesses, and some of them, they need help.
Question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned, okay, getting a domain name, getting your own website presence, which is something I'm wanting to do. You're suggesting that I don't use somebody like GoDaddy. I should work with a company out of Vancouver. Do you know the name of that group I could work with?
Yeah, it's called .easy.
.easy.
Yeah, DOT easy.
I went to Squarespace. Is that the same as Wix, or would you put them in the same?
.easy will give you only a place to download, and please don't use the pre-installed WordPress.
Go ahead.
Don't select the option
Okay.
of pre-installing WordPress.
Okay.
Don't select this
I
option.
find WordPress really confusing.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
But I've used Squarespace for 2 years. I found it very simple.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
If you get them to pre-install for you WordPress, it will be very hard to control it. But however, if you will get the domain,
Yep.
you go to the cPanel,
Okay.
you will find a push button to install your WordPress. You can then remove it and do something else. And usually we say, like, if you work with us, we give you a free space just to get the $5 registration, and we can host you, because we run lots of servers around the globe with our customers. So we usually give people free.
So I just really want a domain name with these guys and then come to you.
Yeah, I can forward the DNS.
Okay.
I want to measure what you said. I am not judging. I don't love you. First of all, I don't love you. I have no relationship whatever with you, and I don't hate you. So I have no judging against you or with you. But I want to measure what you said with these pillars. You will find it will fail.
It will fail.
Yeah. Because if I go to a website, what is the main reason for me to have a website nowadays?
To see what you
To
do.
drive my benefits.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, to say my benefits. And if I'm in a program where I can do it online, so they are here, basically. we talk about them. So I can talk about my benefits. I can have landing pages or lead mechanism. The lead mechanism can be in 2 ways. One, I can ask you for your email, or I can install a Facebook pixel. When people comes from the Facebook to me, Facebook will know who came to me. Then I can go run an advertisement and say, people who visit my website, Facebook will know them. I will not know their identity, but I'm segmenting them as
And targeted audience.
target
You
audience.
can do that with those landing pages.
You do this, you collect lead. But if people will go on your Facebook and they click on your link and you install Pixel on your Facebook, on your website, sorry, Facebook will know how many people clicked and went to your website.
I had created that.
Okay? So this is the reasons for us to have a Facebook, a website. Now, you can have your website for delivery, like part of my website, which you can access through my mobile app, and you can go to a username and password, and you can see my videos, or you don't need to have a username and password, you can see live videos, doesn't matter. So we use the website for also content delivery. So you have to design your website in a way or another. Now, the other thing also for the website is people, when they know that you have a website, they can look you up. So how people will look you up? Using search engines. So what is the most common search engine? Google. And when we talk about Mr. Google, which is my cousin, by the way, because he has all the knowledge we know, Mr. Google likes what? And which
Video.
and which command, which CMS or content management system have been used by bloggers to put all the content?
I have no idea.
It's called WordPress. So the minute you have a WordPress website, Google will know that this is what? A source of information. Because all the bloggers. So I used to say Google and WordPress are two butts in one underwear. This is how I always say it. So you never say WordPress is very confusing. WordPress is the only way to go. Because Joomla or Drupal or any of the other management systems don't have the same appreciation by the search engine. There is a reason for WordPress to be more than 27% of websites worldwide made by WordPress. There's a reason for that. So when Google see a WordPress blog, when people see a WordPress which is coming every day with a new content, it means what?
It's used.
It means it's a source for Google to get more traffic if they will show this website first. Because Google mission toward you as user is what? To demonstrate to you the content you like. Full stop. If I present you content you don't like and you ignore them, it will go in a lower stack in Google. So when you say I have a WordPress website, I get through the first checkpoint. The second thing is, how often do you share from your own website to your social media?
How often do I share?
Do you share from your website to your social media? How many blog you take an image of it or a link of it and put it on your WordPress, on your Facebook or Instagram?
Once a week? Or twice
And
a week?
then how often people will look at this content and they click to go back to your website?
I have no idea.
When these things happen, Google, who's watching here, what they will believe? You have a relevant content for people.
Relevant.
So now when people ask for similar content, you are one of the top candidates.
So no matter what platform you're using, as long as you're
It must
going
be
to
a
one
WordPress.
user.
It must be a WordPress.
Well, why couldn't it be another?
Because all the tools and all the plugins which is Google used are now more optimized to WordPress because this is a common stream.
But if you're still getting traffic going backwards and forwards from social media to your website to social media.
How you count them? Do you have a plugin to track this?
They have a whole bunch of things to track. I have no idea what happens.
For us, we come and say it's $60 to have unlimited WordPress. It's including, you can have an email domains like you'd be Badawi at Win Your Brand, sales at Win Your Brand. So why you want to go to a different things? Now, I had a presentation before where I explained what the website can be made and what the plugin. You were there, right? When we talk about the house structure.
No, it wasn't that good, I'm sorry.
So we had a presentation before, which is maybe the course before that or 2 weeks ago, where we talked about having the platform as WordPress, having the themes as the structure, having the content, what are the plugins, and even we listed in this presentation a specific plugins which work together. So if you are coming Saturday, because we have a work group every other Saturday, so we have one next week, you can bring your computer, you can have your WordPress. You will see people around here having the list of this plugin. You can download them. And all what you will do is you will interact only with the theme. And we brought in 28 theme, which basically plug and play. So you basically fill fields. You don't need to worry about programming. So if you say WordPress is hard, I would show you there is a way to send emails to WordPress, and this emails becomes a blogs with images optimized for search engine. So WordPress is all ahead. At the end of the day, it's your business. You do whatever you like. I'm not here to judge. This is why I'm start with.
Well, no, I realize I need to build multiple websites for the multiple things that I do.
Or you may want to leave everything you do and focus on one. To
But
make
there's still too many things on one.
no,
for it to be
it must be an abstract level, which all of them will play, and the one which doesn't play, we can't. So let's come into here, so we don't lose track. So each one of these must have a different set of benefits. So your website, what is the benefits of your website? It's very straightforward. You have relationship, you have process information, you have value, credibility,
And time.
and time. So I can basically drive blogs to talk about these pain points. The features of my websites will be the videos, the images, the accounts, the whatever it is there. And this shall be one sheet. We call it product sheet. Then I will go to my blogs. If I have a design specific blogs, what is the benefits of my blogs? And what are the features? How often I will send a blog? Each one of these must have different benefits and different features. If two of these lines will have the same benefits, they're supposed to be one. Why you have them two? So the problem we see is people will come here and talk about the benefit of their programs. It's too late, it's too early. They talk about the price of their program, which is part of the feature. It's too early.
Early.
It's too early. For 80% of your customers, it's too early. There are these customers who just have the guts. They just, yeah, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. This is not 80% of your customers, that's right? So we come back to this video education. Any questions so far? Do you want to have a break for 5 minutes?
No, I'm just absorbing the power of the video in the website. Power.
So if you want to talk about the video educations, we use it for few reasons. Number one, if you are in the personal training or the personal impact, like what you do, people need to connect to you. People need to like your voice. People need to appreciate you before they come to work with you. Because if I come to work with you and I dislike you at the moment, what will happen? You'll be basically emotionally drained, okay? So the other thing also is we need to show authority, we need to show information, we need to drive traffic. The new approaches for social media, either YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, they appreciate more video content, because video content, why they appreciate more video content?
It's more fun to watch than it is just a video.
No ma'am, there is no fun.
There's no fun?
Disney is a business, it's not fun. Like I did work for Disney before. In Disney, it's a business. It's real business, it's not fun. The social media platforms appreciate video because this is the only way to keep the audience as long as they can on their platform. Full stop.
Which is fun for them to stay there on the platform for the people they're trying to get.
You make it fun to stay, you align with their goal of having people longer stay, you'll be their friend. You create them fun to go away, that you are not there. Okay? So I appreciate the fun of it, but I want to just get you into the business sense of it. The business sense, why Facebook will give you a unique tracking mechanism for videos. Because Facebook is trying to get YouTube and Vimeo. There's actually more than 8 famous websites for videos. One of them is called YouTube. There's Dailymotion.
Dailymotion. Yeah.
There is Vimeo.
Vimeo, yeah.
Okay. How many social media do you have?
I have so limited. I have Facebook and Instagram.
My recent book is on 152 social media platforms. One of them called Facebook. And all of them I can track and I can shake with a 3 or 4 emails to specific email addresses. I can have posting on them. So when I work my website for coverage, I will need to go and claim every possible profile on every possible social media and let them point back to my website. I will need to get my blog and share it as many as I can, because I want to make sure that Google, like in 6 days, I came from somebody. I pulled all of my websites from the globe around 2010. When I came back in 2015, are you okay?
Yeah, okay.
When I came back 2015, I wrote after 6 days, I am the brand of Google. Because this is what I did. I designed 3 websites. I interlink them. I link them in so many social media on its own time. I start to push out every hour a post. After 6 days, when I type my name, it's not any of the other people. It becomes me directly. Because Google now became under the impression that these websites are highly trafficked. People are coming to see them. That's right. So when you design it in this way, you need to design the website in this way. So coming back to the video, this is the reason for the videos. They give you personal connection, they let people engaged, they let YouTube or Facebook, you can have it. So what are the structures of the video? So there are basically 4 points or 4 level structures. You should have, sorry?
Is it the C, the little...
No. There is a hook. You can have a hook. You say what you are talking about, why it is important, what will happen if we don't apply it, who you are. That's it. And you may want to have a conclusion. That's it. What are you explaining? So give me a topic. Vindomania. Let's talk about Vindomania. Do you know what Vindomania is? So I'm here today to talk to you about Vindomania. Vindomania is an imagination word. You can do whatever you can imagine, and the way to apply it is when you think in Vindomania way, you have your own peace of mind that you can think about it, and you can build your own utopia and your own dream. So you'll feel good, you'll be a good person. Are you engaged? No. Usually people are, because people now getting something new, and we show how they apply it for themselves.
Oh, engaged. I was thinking like, are you engaged?
No,
And I'm like, no, not really.
no. Are you engaged? Are you engaged with the topic of Vindomania, which a word has no meaning on? Just to made it up right now.
Yeah, just made it up.
Yeah. So you can basically get any topic, as long as you say, what is this topic about?
Right.
Why it's important for me? If I don't apply it, what will happen to me? And this is Bill Clinton, or this is Donald Trump, and this is my message. What's her name? Not Hillary Clinton. This is Hillary Clinton, and this is my message. That's right. So you can basically talk a little bit about yourself, and you can have a conclusion. Now, when you talk about the what, you can make the content a little bit rich. So you can tell a story. That's right. You can tell a testimonial. You can have why I draw them as a stool, because
Defining moment.
because they are pain point, defining moment, happy outcome.
Right.
I can add a graph or statistics. There is a video of 1 full day, 6 hours. We call it content creation. We basically have a structure here of 7 questions. If you answer them, you can create between 20 minutes to 3 days content. Because if you do one story, how long you can have the story? It can be 3 minutes. It can be 10 minutes. That's right. Can you say 3 different stories of 3 different examples? Yes. That's right. Can you give few graphs? Can you have an interview with someone? So creating a content for video, for me, I have no problem. I can basically stand in front of the camera And then my problem is how to put it back into 5 or 10 minutes, because you can basically let yourself speak, go. One advice for you: if you mumble, clap or snap, so when you edit the video you can see the spike, so you can cut it. That's it. And after every sentence, pause for 3 seconds, so it gives the video editor a chance to know where you ended it, right?
Because what we do as humans, especially you and me, we both talk too fast, and so we don't give enough time to stop, and we can edit this in and out.
I work with someone who runs a digital TV on YouTube, and he basically speaks slowly, and all of his videos will be 124 or 124 more accelerated. So after he records, he speeds it up, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for me, you gotta slow it down.
That's why we have to speak slowly to the microphone. That's why I like this blue microphone, because when I have them, I feel they are like my body. They are like a head I'm speaking to. So all what I need is just a time to speak in front of a camera, and for sure shave and just have so you can create these videos with this knowledge. Now, when you explain what kind of language you will use here, this language. When you talk about why, or how will you implement it? No, how will you implement it to be a good person, to achieve immediate results, using the step-by-step program, which is very credible, for example, which is very credible, have been used. So these 4 sentences, you should be able to observe on every single step here, as much as you can. We cannot be optimal from the first time. And this will get me to tell you one thing: you never practice these models in front of somebody who is not aware. That's why we found out that Saturdays are very important, because sometimes Saturdays will be somebody coming here and just practice one of these. And last year we had individuals, people say, oh yeah, not, can you stress more on the pain? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because people have a sequence they follow. People understand now the language. Mike will say, well, it's one time he started to talk about feeling. He never been able to sell people on feelings against taxes, because he never, just was basically a good sales guy to sell logic people, but he never really sat with someone, with his wife, and it cut his sessions, I believe, by like 1/3 of the time only for them to sign up. He doesn't need to spend so much time, because they start talking about how do you feel about that. So this kind of awareness is very important. Okay? Any more questions here? Can you go record videos?
Can I record? No, I'm going to take some time to process that. So I'd even consider making a video.
So I put Nelson on the stage last week. I told him forget about all of the talks I've been doing. I stand here, have a green sheet in my office with the lights. I just stand here, just start to speak. With the third retake, I got a phone call. So I stepped away, and I spent 28 minutes on the phone call. I went back, I found him still continuing talking about other aspects of his business, because he just basically got it. He started to just talk. He stepped over the fear, and then he called me. He said, oh, I noticed that we had some noise here and there, and can we come again? Can I come again and redo it? I said, so you can do it anywhere, like you can have your computer camera and do it. Like, why you want to come? No. I felt more confident in the office. The office is the right place. I said, yes, come. So that's why tomorrow he's coming here to do like 4 hours of video recording. It gets to you. Like when you overcome your fear and you're doing it, you start to be in your zone. You'll be peacefully doing it. You will not have emotion. So you were so aggressive because you were so nervous. For me, I didn't even blink when somebody don't know how to pronounce my name. It's an opportunity. I didn't even answer her, that's right? Because I've been doing it so long, it doesn't bother me. And also, I don't judge her. I always look at Yeah, she was not a step process. She had her own excuse. So I didn't. But if I come and say, "Oh, how do you pronounce your name?" People will feel offended. No, I don't, because I look at this ones. Okay. So the second part from this line will be the personal seminar or the webinar. Is this too much on you guys, or?
No, I'm absorbing all of it here right now, but
I am getting pieces of it.
it just,
There's not
it's hard to
highly-
get too
I'm
much.
highly emotional today, so.
Okay. Mariana, are you okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when we look at how people engage with you, it will go against everything else you learn in networking events. Do I care about your name? Or do you care about my name?
Not really.
Not really. I'm not offended, okay?
Mm.
And when I tell you the same, you're not offended. When will you start to have an interest to know who is the one talking in front of you? When you find a synergy to a pain point you have, or you find a solution to a struggle you have. So when we come and talk to people, we have been trained to say, I'm so and so, and this is my business.
Mm-hmm.
I never do this. I stopped doing this.
In fact, almost all these, what do you call these?
BNI.
Meetup groups.
Yeah,
BNI, these
yeah.
types all do that silliness.
Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares you are Keith or John or Neil? What I care about, can you really help me out so I can connect with you?
That's right.
How many of us will meet somebody and say, oh, what's your name? What's your name? Remind me.
Right.
I meet people, I'm very good visual. I remember people's faces. I'm very terrible with names.
Right.
And I meet people, and Yasser, the other day, we were in his old company main floor in a restaurant over there. It was a Vietnamese restaurant as well.
Yeah.
And then one of his friends came and he didn't remember his name. So I told him it was very straightforward. If you start to introduce me to him, he will shake my hand and he will say the name. So if you don't remember his name and you feel shame of asking him what's your name, there's ways around it. So I don't go around and people when they come to me and say, okay, what's your name? I say it's mine. Why do you need to know it? And they will always remember me for that. It's seriously mine. The minute I find interest in you to know who I am, I will start to say it. But I want to first to know who you are to tell you my name. It must be a conversation. So this comes with a model which we call it a challenger sales model. In a challenger sales model, it's an emotional line where we give people, we create rational first to people,
Mm-hmm.
and then we give them a solution, and the solution will excel.
Right.
And we spend about maybe 3 full days on just explaining different pieces of it. So we came up with a sequence, which we call it the signature sequence for a seminar which will sell to somebody else. And we have a workbook for it, and there's a couple of very recent presentations. I don't know if you can see it on. It's the free, even the free part. So you should start with a hook. What is your hook? So what do you hook you have? If you don't have a hook,
I can give you my hook that are.
if you don't have a hook,
Yeah.
you have to remember that the hooks are pain points. So if you say individuals are struggling with process today, who will conquer with this hook? Process people. You don't make money, and you feel painful that you don't make money.
Relationship.
No.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You lose your loved ones because you cannot support them.
That's relationship.
Relationship. There is no creativity here.
And now you're getting old, running out of time to replace your money.
There is no creativity here. Sorry, there is no creativity. Your creativity is what kind of language you use to fit this framework. There is no creativity. Oh, you know what? I did so many of this public speaking. No, this is not a public speaking exercise. This is a sales process to convert people to your offer. This is not a public speaking. This is not a Toastmaster. This is not a CAPS, Canadian Association of Professional Speakers. This is not a professional speaking association. This is not an exercise of public speaking. This is a sales message. Okay? So if you say, I do public speaking, I don't care. These are keynote speakers. They just tell people information. It doesn't matter. And Churchill is the best speaker of his time. I don't care. This is different. Okay? And this was supposed to be the 5 minutes of last week. Okay? Then, after the hook, you can give what we call it information nuggets. So you tell what people are doing in the marketplace right now. You understand what's marketplace, Carolina, right? Marketplace is people who comes to you in one of your promises. What other people are doing? What their struggles? So marketplace here does not mean business. Marketplace is your customers, what the problems they have. So you tell them people right now struggling with 1, 2, 3. Okay? You can have 1 or 2 or 3 of these info nuggets based on timing perspective. So I wouldn't say how many, but I'll just go through the structure for now. Okay? Then I will give you the title. And I will give you my personal story. And my personal story is what? Why I am the best one on earth. Why I'm the best one in the galaxy to talk about this topic. There are some remedy for the title we'll talk about in a few minutes, but this is the personal story. And I will come to the second phase. I'm just going to the first phase now. After the personal story, what you will do? For adult learning, you need to tell them table of content. After the table of content, you will basically cover what, why, and the challenges. And then you will conclude by review table of contents. And you say, do you want more? People will say yes. You will give them your offer. It's an offer to join if you don't like to sell. Many of us don't like to sell. Okay? This is a structure which convert with somebody I know from 8 to 10% up to 67% of a room. I convert with this structure 114% of a room. More than the people in the room sign up and give me credit card. Very well tested, very well used. And when we talk more details about it, you will find that every big sales organization are doing it without relating back to the structures. So big potential, TV Eckert, what's other guy? Tony Robbins, everybody's doing the same structure. Nobody's doing something different. There are 4 structures worldwide. This is the most highest conversion structure. It works with the emotions, and this is the first phase. It takes at least 5 to 6 cycles to mature this structure. If I know the structure, will I need notes? Will you need notes? Why?
Because
You know the structure. If you can store each one of these in one room of your condo or your house, When you look in front of people now, what are you doing? You are touring your house. When somebody asks you a question back here, what you do? You go back to the living room. That's it. There is nothing. I can stand and like I won a competition and I didn't know the meaning of the word. And I was there and then like I asked to be second. So I have 15 minutes to prepare my 7-minute presentation. Everybody said this is the best presentation ever. I didn't know the meaning of the word. I was very specific. I went to my cousin. Who was my cousin? Google. I went to my cousin. I looked at a hook around this topic. I type it, hook or extreme example. I looked at information nuggets. I was able to organize 2 information nuggets. I was able to have the title, which I explained to you the template of the title. I had a personal story relevant to the title. And then I talk about what is it, why people need to care about it, and what the challenges. The challenges are very well known. The top 19 challenge for people. What is the top challenge for people to join your program
I haven't heard.
or your service? What is the top challenge for people to buy your service? What is it in your mind? Keith, do you have a...
Trust is a big one, but it's
What is the top challenge? I'm asking about the top challenge. The top
most
challenge.
is if I put out the money, will I get the benefit?
No.
No.
What is the top challenge for people to join your or to buy your server or join their program?
Oh boy. Well,
It's themselves.
it's
It's the
itself.
coconut.
Thank you. Yeah,
It's the coconut in your head, which make you not to move forward.
correct. Thank you.
Is you.
Yep.
The top challenge to buy my program is you. Full stop.
That's right. That's right.
What is the second top challenge for people to buy your program or to buy my program, whatever it is? What is the second top challenge for you to buy my program?
How relatable it is?
Sorry?
How relatable it is?
It's believable.
Unbelievable.
No.
Or interesting.
Urgency.
They don't move on time. They don't take actions on time. So the top 19 challenges from 1 to 19 are very well known. Very well characterized with human behavior. 90% of people or 80% of people will move on them. Full stop. I don't care about the 20%. I don't care if I'm salesy or not. If you care you are salesy or not, you don't have enough belief in this. Because if you believe in this, you will be eager to give it to everybody. That's right. So sometimes we don't have a self-confidence in our own programs. And we want to sell it, but we don't want to sell it because we are basically jealous of next door. She has a program, but we have a program, but we don't want to sell it. You know what? I don't sound salesy, but without customers, you have no program. But I don't want to sell people because I want to make people to decide. You have to agree if you engage them, holding their hands to help them making decision to change their life, and then give them an opportunity to cancel will be the best approach. Okay? Because I've been doing this for so long and I hear interesting stuff. You know what? We can go through this sequence. And I can keep going. We do it 3 days. These are 18 hours interaction. There is actually I did it one time, 6 weeks. Every week we have 2 hours on webinars. And we didn't cover too much into it because this is your money making machine. If you perfect this, you can go engage more people. If you don't want to sell, don't sell. Invite them to join your program. Don't sell. If you don't like to invite them, share your value with a venue for them to get more value. Okay? So this is the first cycle. What or how we can make this more relatable or more engaging? Using stories. Why people love stories?
It's relatable.
Sorry?
It's relatable.
10,000 years ago, a human being used to sit around the fire, and what they will tell? Stories. That's right. So we feel comfort with the stories. So each one of these hooks, you can back it up with a story. information nuggets, you can back it up with what's the first leg in the story? Pain points. And you say, can you relate? What they will say. What they will say if you say, can you relate?
If it's a pain point they can relate to.
It means what? They have the same pain point.
They have the same pain point.
You tell them a story about Jennifer, for example. Do you know any girl named Olivia?
No.
Why? Olivia is the most common name in Alberta.
Is it?
Yeah, my nieces, I will tell them, let's go around the neighborhood and knock on each one door at like midnight or so, or 11 o'clock at night, and ask them if they have Olivia. They tell me you're crazy. I said, no, but how come you don't have in your school Olivia? Olivia is the most common name in Alberta. Remember this, if you want to talk about Jennifer or Olivia here, you want to talk about the pain point, you want to talk about, if I tell you, can you relate to this happy outcome, it means what?
Either you can or you can't.
If I tell you, can you relate, and you say yes, it means what?
It means that I have your pain points and want to know what your happy outcome is. And I want to know what the mental piece is to get to the happy outcome.
That's right.
Right?
Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
So you can tell these stories. Now you come to your title. Your title must be named around the challenges. Why the titles around the challenges or the barriers?
To make it interesting.
Because the statistics showed. Here we have no fun, and here we have no interesting. Okay, here we have science. So why the title around the challenges? Because the statistics showed that 90% of the people will buy for pain.
90% will what?
Will buy for pain.
To relieve the pain.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's it. Why the challenges must be 3, 5, or 7? Why not 4? Because Walmart made a study, found out that if you sell in North America, people will relate better to odd numbers less than 9, and 1 is a very few number. Full stop. If you go to UK, they must be 4 or 8. Why? Because Harold's made a study, found out that people in UK, they will conquer better to 4 bullets numbers. That's why all marketing companies coming from UK and Europe, they always have 4 items, 4 items, 4 items. And people who come from UK, from USA and Canada who have high conversion, they will have 3 or 5. Full stop. There is no what they like. There's a statistics, there's an A/B testing which demonstrate why. And my goal is to go out, because I speak the same language as the researchers, bring this information and make it simple for people to apply. So sometimes, if you can, people come to me and say, oh, I cannot have 5, I cannot have 3, I only can have 4. Awesome. Break 1 to 2, or aggregate 2 to 1, or just forget about 1.
Right. Right.
So
So those are 3 to 5 pain
Pain.
points
Pain. Yes.
on the challenge that you're
the
going.
challenges must be 3 to 5.
So the
to 7.
challenges are 3 to 5 or the pain
Or
points are 3 to 5?
Any numbers you will write has to be between 3, 5, and 7. Any bullet number in your marketing material, it has to be the 7 steps. It has to be the 9 steps, not 9 steps, 5 steps, 7 steps, 3 steps. It cannot be 4 steps. For me, my program called 12 steps because I'm doing recovery for personal branding, like recovery in addiction. I'm trying to stop you to be addicted to what you do in practice. That's why I call it the 12 steps for brand mastery. And people come to say, do you know what 12 steps means? I said, yeah, it's addiction recovery steps. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to stop your addiction to the way you do it. When I run a program called 30 Days to Win, 30 days of journaling to win, why is 30 days?
Because it takes 27 days to change it.
No, because the month is 30 days. I'm giving you a journaling mechanism for a month. So one of my books called the 30 days journaling to win and more. Why 30 days? Why 90 days? I have another book called 90 days. Why 90 days? Because
you respond to 90 days?
business owners will make a 90 days plan. That's right. That's it. Why is 7 days? Why when you sell to Jewish people, you give them the 8 values?
I don't know.
Because in their cultures, the 8th is the sefer. Okay, so these numbers have cultures, orientation, and when you go and speak in different places, if you are not aware of that, someone else will have better awareness, will take the business from you.
Great. A classic example, I could just elaborate on that just a little bit, is I was talking with a German lady here on Saturday, and she's in cryptocurrency space. She said, interesting enough, whenever the North American companies, Americans primarily, go into Germany, and Americans like to do rah, 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 big like excitement and all that sort of thing, the Germans look at them, you're nuts.
Yeah.
You cannot be trusted. They fail miserably because their culture is give us the facts, give us the steps, create credibility, everything in order. You come in with this loosey-goosey, wild feeling thing, they just totally dismiss it. So,
And another example for that is me and Marcel. Marcel is actually a German. He's with his wife. He didn't make it, but Marcel, me and him went to an event. The guy said it was a real estate event. The guy said, "You guys know here why you are here. You know what will be the topic today. Who here has $2,000 on their credit card? Stand up. Come with me to sign up for the program." And then people who stand up went behind him. Then he went back to talk to the others. This is the way in Chicago they sell, not in Western Canada. So every demographic has a different language. Do you know what's Johnny? Do you want to when you talk to John? Do you want to what's WC? Do you know what's water closet? Do you want to what's washer?
I haven't watched television since 2000.
No, ma'am. Washrooms, which is a place which you do your own thing,
Oh, yeah.
has 27 words to describe
Going to
the
the
location.
Oh,
So it's toilet,
gotcha.
washroom, WC, men's room, Johnny, go to John.
Right.
So in Arkansas, it's Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Arkansas, go to Johnny. Yeah.
That's right. So, or was that accent is Johnny?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how the language, and then they come and they claim that I have an accent. Okay, British people have an accent, okay? Irish have an accent. Scottish has an accent, that's right?
Canadians have an accent.
Can have different accents. So when you are exposing yourself to these places, you must be aware of what are the dynamics of conversion. Get motivated. When they came to Calgary, they did great. Edmonton, awesome. But when they went to Quebec, they fell back
Right.
because the Quebec language is different. Toronto is different. So when you sell in places, even among here, like in Canada, we don't like free. US, they will line up for free. In Canada, we give you a gift. We gift you.
We gift you. Yes.
Free means, so there are a few of these things. But coming back to the sequence here, so
the Jewish was the 8 what?
the 8 is the safer. The 8, it has to do with number 8
Yeah.
in them is lucky. It's the safe. It's the one who saved them. Was the 8th individual who came to them. I don't want to go into the
The whole religion thing, but
Yeah.
it was the 8th prophets or something.
the 8th day and.
Yeah, but you said the 8.
And then also they believe that the God built the earth in 7 days and rested in the 8th day.
Correct.
So the 8th day means completion.
So but if you talk about 8 things, what are the things? The 8 opportunities or
The 8 will be more value for them because they know the 8 is the most important part.
Okay, so it's not 8 challenges or 8 opportunities.
No.
Doesn't matter. It's the 8 is important.
Yeah, the 8th number for them. So anybody in numerology will give you lots of, if you want to read about the magic of number, Chinese will like for example, Chinese will hate 13.
But they not like 8.
And by the way, there are buildings in New York, in Manhattan downtown, they have level 12 and level 14
That's right.
because nobody will live in level 13, so they don't have level 13.
That's right.
Okay, so we have to learn from these people. But coming back to here, because we don't want to go lots away of time, so you have the challenges. How many challenges should you have here in North America? The
Three.
top,
3, 5, or 7.
yeah. Okay. Now, what's your personal story? How your personal story will be structured? Same thing.
Same thing.
Your pain points,
Yep.
your defining moment, and please make it 3D. I'll explain it in a minute. Your happy outcome. And then you can come and say, and from my expertise, I developed, or I read, or through my experience, I read so many books, and I developed this more experience, and I developed enough experience to create a program that I will offer you. I will speak to it later on. So these two legs are very special toward the personal story.
Yep.
Today we'll talk about this topic, why it's important, and the challenges for you to join. The topic is, and after the topic, you can tell a story if you have time. Why is it important? You can tell a story. Or, and when you have the challenges, so you have a challenge 1, we call it a challenge 3, a challenge 2, a challenge 1. This will have a testimonial, which is pain point, defining moment, happy outcome. So you can say testimonial 1, testimonial 2, so this is a testimonial 3. Do you have, what's the top challenge? What's the top challenge for people to join your program?
Their heads, where their heads are.
You, that's right?
You. Their,
So,
yeah, their story.
do I give testimonial after you? When I say, and the top challenge for people to join, to solve this problem is basically you. Should I give testimonial?
Yes.
No?
No.
Who will be giving the testimonial next?
Oh,
If
uh,
I am
yeah.
the,
get the customer to give their testimony.
so these people, when they join your program,
Right.
they will give you testimonials.
Right.
That's why when you have here, you need at least 2 testimonials with the challenge number 3 and the challenge number 2.
So are you talking about two planted people that will give?
No, we don't. They don't give testimonial. We just will not say testimonials. We'll leave it blank.
Okay, I'm a little confused.
We will leave it blank.
What?
Like when we talk about the challenge number 2,
Yeah.
challenge number 1 is you don't take actions on time.
Right.
And Keith didn't take actions on time. Challenge number 3 is he do the wrong solutions.
Right.
And the Keith has a wrong business coach. And when I met him, he joined my program, and he was able to accelerate his program in 6 months or so.
Right.
For example, challenge number 2, people don't take actions on time. People will have offered an opportunity and they will skip to it. And I know Catherine, who I offered her my program, and guess what? She didn't. And her testimonial is here. I was offered this program 3 times, and I was waiting. Nothing got better. And when I joined the program, I was able to advance my system in 3 months, for example. Okay. Now, challenge number 1 is you guys, your coconut. Should I give testimonial after your coconut? I will leave it blank. Because when you join my program, you'll be the next candidate for the testimonial. If you have 5 challenges, if we assume there will be challenge 5, it's challenge 4, you will have testimonial 4, you will have 5, you will have testimonial 3.
So for every challenge, you have a testimonial to back up how you solved that challenge.
It's a testimonial of one of your customers.
No.
It's a
Can I come
testimonial.
in?
Yeah, sure, you can. It's a testimonial of one of your customers who overcomes this challenge to sign up to your program. Okay? So, when you look at it from this perspective, this will be cycle 2. Then,
Are you sharing all these challenges, like these 5 challenges with one person?
are you sharing what?
So these 5 challenges that you have, when you're communicating this message of your book and information like that, when you're telling them, when you're discussing challenges with them, do you tell them solutions that have worked through a testimonial?
The solution comes
Is
through the
that- is that
testimonial.
what you're- is that
Yeah.
what you're saying with this?
Yeah. So the testimonial will carry the solution for the challenge.
Which gives you the credibility and the authority.
We will talk about this in a few
Because
minutes.
that would connect in with that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but we'll talk about this in a few minutes. I'll give you more of that. And I shall explain it to you. Okay? Now, after you review, you will come with your offer. And your offer is 15 steps. I will not get through it today. Including guarantees, including 3 guarantees, including make it sweet and make it sweeter and urgency for the first 3. It's a complete template you can fill. Okay? The point I want to make here is, if I will go cycle 1 here, cycle 2 here, what I'm doing now, I'm practicing this to come from my heart. So the minute you practice this every week for 6 weeks, the minute you practice this every 2 days, it will come from your heart. No brain, no, people will not feel like you are making it up. It's just something will come naturally from you. Now, what can I do in cycle 3? In cycle 3, I will look at adaptation. How to adapt these stories to the audience. So if my audience are students in college, all my story and testimonial has to be what?
Related to a difficulty in college.
In college.
Right.
If my audience are first time graduate or first year graduate,
Right.
all my stories has to be about what?
First-time buyers.
If my business, and this will come to another question, who is here defining themselves as a small business owner? Do you define yourself as a small business owner?
As in, I am Carrie Lynn, I'm a small business owner.
Yeah?
No, I can't say I've ever said that out loud.
Do you define yourself as entrepreneur?
Yes.
Do you define yourself as solopreneur?
What?
Solopreneur.
No, because I usually have people that work with me or help me.
Do you define yourself as SME?
What's that mean?
Small business, small medium enterprise.
Sure.
Okay? So what we found out is solopreneur are the same as entrepreneur, are the same as a small business owner, the same as a startup, the same as SME. However, each one of the audience will define themselves in a specific category. So if I go to the entrepreneurship center, I have to talk about entrepreneurs in business, not small medium enterprise, because they don't understand themselves as small business enterprise. So when you adapt these messages, the adaptation has to go to the level using your audience language. Describing the pain in this way. Describing the happy outcome in this way. Okay? After that, you have to go through cycle 4, which is adaptation for time. So how I can make this 9 minutes presentation or 5 minutes presentation? By speaking only maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe I will talk here 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you gotta read.
That's it.
You gotta,
How I can make it 90-minute presentation?
by just elaborating that. One,
I can elaborate here,
Yep.
or I can do what?
Come up with more challenges. And see what
Or I can do what? Yeah, coming more challenges is great. Like any 90-minute presentation will be 70 challenges, okay? Any 40-minute presentation will be 5 at most. But what I can do also, I can duplicate the stories. I can tell a story about Anne, about Jennifer, about Olivia, then about Fred, about Jim,
So
about...
as long as you talk to all this 4 pieces of the quadrant, you're going to talk to your entire audience.
Yes.
So therefore you're more relatable.
So this is not a public speaking exercise. This is more of, and this is not, by the way, copywriting. Okay? With all due respect to copywriters. This is crafting your message with emotional triggers for people to mindless comply to your offer by taking their hands step by step. If we want to measure the reciprocity aspect of this, is education or sales?
This is sales.
I find
in my opinion.
education.
I love the debate.
Good.
So in the eyes of the audience, This is education.
Correct.
Because your sales here, usually this is like 15 to 20% of the presentation. Usually the title comes around 15 to 20%. So when you say your name here, it comes after, it doesn't come at the beginning. I don't say, hi, I'm so and so. I don't do that. Remember in my presentation, I talk about 2 stories. I never said my name.
I said a paragraph before I mentioned my name. Not that anyone could hear me, but I did.
Why do you need this? Because you come with an introduction. So the intro at the beginning will include your title and your name.
Yep.
And you may be investing in a video clip. That's right. People will invest in a video clip. You can have video clip about you for 1 minute or 30 seconds. So people, when you come, people will know you. So why do you want to repeat it? So if you want to be scientifically correct, this is a sales or marketing. So let's just pick up a different color because I want to share with you. So let's look at this. Is this sales or education? If I look at the audience will see this as usual. As usual. It's always.
We have investments in millions.
So this is education, that's right. This is information nuggets are education. The title is
Education.
your personal story.
Is education.
We don't know. Table of content. Table of content.
Definitely education.
What's why and the challenges for people to join.
Information.
So education. And your offer is
Sales.
sales. The truth of it is what?
All of it was a sales.
The truth of it is what? The only education piece here is what?
Right there.
The title.
The challenges.
That's it. When you talk about a person here who have the pain points, achieving the happy outcome, using your own program, it means what?
System.
You are telling a success story of your program. You call it, you are seeding the offer. From first step, the hook. You know Mary? I'm not like Mary. I'm an expert. This is what I said. Did you enjoy Mary's story?
I did.
I was selling it to you to show you an example that I'm different. I'm the expert.
Which is why I came to your seminar.
But you understand the back of it? We have to be honest among ourselves. We have to be transparent. Like, I have no problem going outside and say whatever, as long as we as a group or as a partner understand the reality of it. So if you look at these models, you will find that this is here are sales. Another story about somebody is means what? Sales. Your testimonials here means what? Endorsement of your sales. You are actually talk about why you do what you do. And if you want to thank the host, you thank the host here. Here is my personal story. I am Keith. I did this. I struggle, and because I collect all of this knowledge, thank you, Brenda, for inviting me to speak to you guys. Everybody will cheer to Brenda, but you are basically getting withdrawing from Brenda all credibility to you. If you come here at the very beginning and say, hi guys, thank you Brenda for inviting me today, you are basically withdrawing your authority as somebody blushing or brown-nosing Brenda, brown-nosing Brenda to put you on the stage. If you thank Brenda here, you are getting Brenda relationship to the audience to endorse your authority.
Wow.
Okay? Make sense?
Way.
We never thank the host, we never affirm the obvious, we never apologize, we never say sorry. You don't tell the audience, oh, I'm standing between you and the coffee break. It's obvious. We are sitting right here and this shiny sun outside and I wish to be in the mountain. Go to the mountain. Why are you talking to us? Why? Don't do this. I always was told by my mentors long time ago, audience sitting on the stage, They open their skull, expose their brain, waiting for your wisdom. And your wisdom is not to say sorry. Your wisdom is to hook them with your knowledge, to show them why you are the brilliant in the room. Not saying, oh yeah, you know what, it's my first time to speak. We can tell, ma'am, you know. We can tell. Why do you say it? We can tell. I was surprised one time, there was a girl speaking, and she's supposed to be very famous because she has this business from China and she sold it to a company, and she has no passion to entrepreneurship, and she said it's like hard things to do, but she is still speaking to entrepreneurs. And she says, like, you know what, guys, I have to go to get you my notes because, oh, you know, I don't really good in doing notes. I have these sticky notes. And she started to show us, she did a very wonderful presentation, but she started to show us the sticky yellow pads, and she started to review them. Who cares? Who is the only one knows your content? You, me, on the stage. That's right.
Yeah.
How much will I share with you in content? Is there anybody here to measure what I know and what I don't know? When you will know? When I will tell you. When I can say, oh, you know what? Time passed by and I didn't cover everything I covered. This is the only time you will know. But if everything is fine, people are engaged, people love what you content, it doesn't matter, because in 2 days they will forget everything about what you taught them.
That is correct.
2 days.
Not even 2 days.
2 hours.
Okay? So don't get stressed to teach people so much. Like, what did I taught them in my talk? How to say my name. Full stop. I had content, believe me. Mariana will tell you. Mariana knows me. I go with content. I have lots of content. And I start with the opening and I taught them how to use my name. Do they remember me or not?
To give you a perspective on that, I got involved in the natural health field because of the amazing products. I thought if I could get up there and explain to the people why they need to have this the rest of their life, once they understood that, they would be on it for the rest of their life. Boy, was I wrong. They couldn't even remember what I talked about 5 minutes later. Okay, so there's a paradigm for you.
No, it gets to me because at the end of the day, people need to learn the experience.
Yeah.
So all what people remember about you, 2 things: highly dynamic, very hard to follow, it's okay, and the language you taught. Because nobody understood what thing, they couldn't repeat it. That's it. Are these sufficient for you to go back to them and just entertain them with a different business offer? It should be. So when you go to these presentations, you go with cycles. Now, inside your offer, there is also a structure after that in cycle 5, where we talk about the dynamics of the rooms. Like how the room is set up, how many doors, where you have your sales offer, where you stand, how you can overcome the objections. When people come and say, I'm not ready to sign, what you say. There's so many other things which you get into cycle 5. Make sense? What's your question then?
I haven't. I'm just
Still
processing.
processing.
There's a lot here to process.
Oh.
I've never seen
This is just a framework. I can get you the booklets, you can fill them. It's not a big deal.
The details come later.
It's not the details. Like I was telling someone the other day, like we share everything, because people will always question, are they meeting the standard or not? Who they will come to? The one who creates the standard, not anybody else. If people are serious about it and you want to do it, we connect. Like we were able to get a company from $40 million sales to $110 million sales in 9 months by adopting this structure. And the reason for them to go there, because they had line up every 4 days a speaking opportunity. So it says they convert, they have a higher conversion. Shamir was another example. He had 3 conversion speaking event in 2 months. When he was getting the information, he applied them, he started to see rapid results. Mariana was another one. She will talk to 9 to 11. She started to see higher conversion when she adopted some of these. That's right. Some of these. Because the science never lie said people will convert when you take them in this way. That's why it's very important to decide if people will sign at the end of the offer or they will come to your table to sign, because nobody will come. So when we go to these events, which is like the one we were in, This is not a selling event. This is just an entertainment for me. Because in a selling event, at the end of your presentation, you must have 15 minutes to half an hour to collect signing sheets. This is what they do in Get Motivated, in Colin, everywhere. Multi-speaker event, which for sales. Once you finish your sales presentation, you say, if you have any more information, I'll be standing by the door collecting the signing sheets and to answer your questions. That's it. But if you cascade 3 or 4 presenters, none of them will be able to sell. None of them, because people will forget. So when I go to support a community event or some people and they have these sales events and they have multi-speakers behind each other, fully understand that the organizer doesn't understand sales from presentations. By the way, if you go to Get Motivated, you can see full day. They have a famous speaker, keynote, then an offer. After the offer, you have half an hour. There is no music. There is nothing after the presenter. Everything is people to go to the back to collect and sign up for signing sheet. That's it. The second section, a famous speaker, then somebody with an offer. And then after the offer, you have a half an hour or 1 hour for people to do what? To line up for the sign up. That's it. There is no single selling system where you have 4 speakers or 5 speakers and between them breaks. You do this because you want to get just connection with people so you can sell them later through your email campaign, through your phone, through follow-up meeting, whatever it is. Make sense? Any questions so far?
I also noticed something though. Did you choose to go last with it in that group?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that's actually the choice place to be.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
It's debatable because usually by the end,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Front or end?
No. I actually took it as a example how I shouldn't present in a woman-only event. This is how I took it. And I didn't know there was supposed to be a second fellow from Edmonton, but he pulled out, so it ended up being like 8 photos, and and the 9th is me, which is the only male, and they put sideways, and then they put me in the last presentation, and they put me in different place. So that's why I was just like, what guy is this? What's about here?
Right.
So after my presentation, people came to me because they wanna show that they are interested to buy my product, or so I'm a male, and I sold something. Anyway, so this is also something. If you are interested of doing this, as I said, like there's free videos. Like there's so much material you can build, but you have to commit because this is I call it signature presentation. Then this will be your webinar. The difference between a webinar and a seminar is in the webinar, the information at the very beginning will be make sure you don't have a Facebook behind, you have your screen size, few things like that. The housekeeping are different.
Mm-hmm.
The interaction with the offer will be different because it will be a link to click.
Right.
And you must have tools to track how many people clicked and submitted online.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 4 fundamental differences between a seminar to a webinar. Between an educational program to a selling program, you remove the offer. Because you know the structure. You don't need notes. You know you are moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, as a robot. And you can adapt this to any topic. Any questions?
Yep.
It's just, to me, it's just all coming in like information that I'm just like trying to absorb and knowing I'm going to need to read.
You shouldn't absorb, you should just apply them. You shouldn't absorb. You shouldn't try to make sense of it. You should just jump into it, get yourself out of your comfort zone, craft one of these messages,
Yeah.
come practice it, let's perfect it.
That's kind
And
of how I'm feeling. It's just I want to just write things down and just start looking at it.
And this is a good point. When you stand in front of people, and one of the questions will be is, should we give people handout in the presentation? No. Because this is a laser beam from my heart to your heart. So when I give you notes to read during the presentation, what you will do?
Look at
That's right.
Absolutely, you disengage from him.
That's right.
You disengage totally.
When you come and see people writing their notes, it means they are what?
They're engaged.
They are processing
Processing.
information.
I'm processing the information is what
That's
I'm
it.
doing.
So you have to speak slowly and adopt them, accommodate them. You have to wait for the eye contact. There's so many you can do to be more engaging to people by reading what's their interest to know. Are they interested to know more about details, how you do it? Are they interested more about what you do and how they can impact their life? Are they interested about the credibility and the value of your program? Like, for example, Mariana will talk about Bruce Lipton, very credible researcher who started the whole program. Keith will talk about another name who's very credible in making these projections and predictions for stocks. That's it. Because people who are here, they need the credit. They don't care about how it works. And to be honest with you, I look at the materials. They're very complicated to read. Too much information. Yeah. But these people will buy because it's credible. People will go and say, yeah, I went to Tony Robbins event. What did you learn? Oh, it was nice. Fabulous experience. So what's the impact you have? No, we just went with Tony Robbins.
It was just rah. I felt good when I came out of there.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
So
it.
why
90% of them just, I felt good. Maybe feel good for a few days, a few hours.
yeah.
They
And
don't
people
really
will
retain it, right?
pay $2,000 to $4,000 to sit in the front rows.
Yep, and you get it retained. Make yourselves feel good.
Like Shamir will share with me a story. There was this lady, she needs his program. She's very struggling. And he was selling his program for like $600. And the lady said, oh, I don't have money. And I really will think about it. I'm not ready. And next day, she bought a crystal ball for $10,000. Yeah, you remember, she shares this story.
Whoa.
Because for her,
Yep.
the crystal ball is credible and valuable.
Right. And
He
the
was
positive-
Does
talk.
she know how to read the crystal?
Probably not, but
Can she discern the frequency of ball?
How many people will buy things because they are in their house?
Pardon?
How many people will buy things because they have to have it in their house with no use?
I have no idea.
How many
people
people
buy.
will buy things because they want to have it in their house with no use?
I don't know. I can't get
Oh,
behind
my
that.
God.
I
Here we-
can't get behind that process.
Well,
It has to have a reason.
Because you are here. Because you are here. That's it.
yeah.
So when you go to like the best marketplace to buy used computer electronic stuff right now is where? Is Facebook. Because people like you can go and buy current products at 60%, 40% of its price, and they are completely sealed in original manufacturer seal. Because people buying them, they believe they are valuable and they will use them sometime, but they never use them.
I can't even fathom it.
Well,
This is their practice. Can you ask your customer why they will buy from you, or why did they buy from you? You can't.
you,
They had a problem.
You can't. If people buy, just buy. You don't care about why they buy. All what you care about is they will buy or not. But what exact reason is their body for them to make it to buy? You don't care. You never go to somebody, oh, you give me your money now for my program, but you know what? Can you tell me why did you buy it and why you need it? Oh, I don't think it's the right fit for you. Can I give you your money back? Will you do that? Why? Because we don't care why people do things. Here I'm trying to explain to you that many of the people will buy because you have a quick solutions, you have a credible solutions, you can make them better, not for the process which you love to talk about. That's it. 22% of us will like to know about your process, but most likely the event you were in, more than 70% of them are here.
that's right.
This particular event.
Yep.
It was only Amaka and the other people who understand a little bit of process. But people who read like stones and read angels, there is no sense in that. Is there any logic for you to talk to your angel?
Is there any logic to talk to your angel?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No. No, there is no logic. When I show you an electrical wire and I tell you there is a electricity in it, do you believe it?
Yeah.
No, because you have the wire. The minute you touch it, you'll believe it.
Correct.
No, there is no logic of telling people there is waves and electricity in wires. When they see a light bulb, they will understand. But if you see the wire going, you see this segment of wire, and I tell you there is power in it and there is volt and current. You say, what do you mean? Do you agree?
Well, I'm different.
Amazing, you identify that you are different, because when you are different, what message I'm giving you here is focus on these people differences and speak their language, because you are not selling to yourself.
Correct.
You will grow. This will lead to a very complex model, which we can do it in 5 minutes, which will talk about.
Boy, do I have a process for you.
We will talk about. So when you talk to people using words or events here, how people are receiving the information. I will talk to you because I would like you to make actions and get results. Okay, let me just.
That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to use words to give you actions to get results.
That's it.
That's it.
And this is what you are trying to do too.
Right.
That's right. So the issue right now is what? What is the issue now? The issue is people having their selected attention. They receive with it
It's filtered through your own brain.
your own goggle.
Yes.
How many times did you buy a new car or you buy a car?
3 times.
When you decide to buy a specific car, when you drove around, did you see everybody in town driving similar car to yours?
No.
Did this happen to you ever? Like when you decide, you know, I want to buy, like for example, a Subaru Green 1998, and I started to drive around, I found everybody's driving a Subaru Green 1998.
Yeah.
When you decide to make a roof change, and you're trying to select what's your roof color, and you say, okay, let's do it like brown, you'll be
Start seeing
surprised.
brown roofs everywhere.
Thank you.
Everybody around us having the
You
brown
want a
roof.
red car, you'll find red cars everywhere.
Exactly.
This is what's called selective attention.
Yeah.
And you know what? The truth, ma'am, is people did not puzzle you by driving the same car you like. People are driving this car every day and you did not notice it, okay? They are not working against you.
Okay.
If I have my selected attention, I also have my biased interpretation where I will perceive whatever I will receive from you. Using my biased interpretation. You know what?
Your
Keith?
white
My
Bias.
biased interpretation. You know what, Keith, sorry to say, it's a white man. I don't really like white men because they have an accent I don't like, and I don't trust them. So whatever he will say, oh, I'm not sure. Full stop.
Yeah.
You know? Full stop. My biased interpretation is silver-head guys are
His last
really.
name is Hampton, and those Englishmen screwed our people for years.
Yeah,
They're
or
never
like, you know
trusted.
what? This silver-head people don't have any access to computers and technology,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and they don't really know how to use it. My mom doesn't know how to use it, so why do I listen to him for electronic reporting? This is not me. He knows this is not me, but just to give you an example of when people see you,
They have a bias.
they have their biased interpretation to what you say. Oh, you know what? People have been taking this engine. I don't believe so. Like, I never really. I went to this session. I tried it. It didn't work for me. So why do I listen to her? This is what's going in their back mind. No, they will never disclose it. It's only people like me who can come and disclose things because I really care of speakers, because I know how much passion you put through your business. I know how much passion Mariana is doing it. I know how much people are. So I put this model and say, okay, how many people will share this information with you? Not too many.
Some.
Not too many, right? Then after the bias interpretation, people they will be able to do their own search using their uncontrolled influences, which is basically their self-talk, their peer talks,
Years.
or the social media.
So, for example, in my business, when they go and do the search, they go to social media and they hear about this cryptocurrencies. It's a scam. It's worthless. It means
Yeah.
nothing. Their peers tell them that's I got burnt doing it. It's the biggest joke ever. That's
Or I can wait, go home and just think about it. I'm not feel comfort doing it. Yeah, no, you know what? I feel I need more. My self-talk. If you want to understand why relations are damaged, is because of that. The minute you have a restraining order, you come to here. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday he called me 12:20 at night in the morning yesterday, and he's going through one of these interesting challenges in life, and somebody told him to talk to me. We spoke like for 2 hours and a half. All what I was telling him, you know what? Stop judging what she's doing. Stop finding reasons to do what she's doing. She can do whatever she likes. Nobody. You'll make a decision on that, and you'll judge her, and you'll go offended in different way. And you know what? Even if you ask her why did you do this, she may not have an answer. So you cannot just judge people actions in your own way, and judge your intention that you are a good guy. Because people judge their action, the other action, and they judge their intention. You have to stop judging. You have to stop talking about what she did. You have to stop talking about what the kids are doing. You have to stop talking about what her parents are doing. Just act as if this doesn't happen, and tell me what you want to achieve from the next steps. No, she did this because she wants to do that. Stop. We cannot prove that. So these self-talk and peer talks are very crazy.
crazies, right?
This is very crazy.
But
We
it's
sit
like-
in the dining table. Oh, what do you think about the last speaker? Oh, you know, I don't know. Do you really believe in that? Oh, maybe. And somebody said, I saw in YouTube how to find your why, and finding your why, you can listen to this YouTube. And then, oh yeah, it was a good lecture. I read it. Suddenly, you go from the topic to finding your why because the peer discussions throw you there. So this is what's happening in the heads of your audience. Then people would like to retain what they retain based on their biased memory. And this is a cycle which is going in the head of your audience. So their biased memory, oh, you were this cool girl, you were this crazy one which we see coming out of the hospital, you were this one which is high energy. It doesn't matter. Can you control what they retain?
No.
Can you influence what they retain?
Yes.
How?
By your own behaviors and actions and awareness of what's
By sending follow-up emails for how good you are. So when you engage with follow-up emails, this is what will happen. When you engage with consistent messages, a consistent appearance, a consistent behavior,
I do follow up phone calls, but a similar.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter however you want to follow, but just the point is, remember, these models have been made for people to understand how people behave without us trying to figure out, okay, where we shortcut it. Our role is to show you how we can shortcut everything. That's why when you talk about their selected attention, we come at the very beginning and we give a hook and say, do you agree, guys? Who here has this pain point? So and so claimed about that. Can you relate to that? This kind of opening up to what you will say, it removes the goggle. You have to interpret the messages to them and conclude it to take away their interpretation. You have to give them testimonials to overcome their self-talk and peer talk. You have to show them testimonials over the internet to make sure. So your language has to follow up this. You can give them takeaway to influence their memory. You can have a follow-up, okay? So what I'm saying here is how the information flow with their cautious mind. However, their bias is their cognitive bias is unknown. Wait, there's more for that.
Oh, I want to get this part.
Okay. Now, if you understand this, you will realize that from this biased memory, people will have feelings and thoughts. And from their feelings and thoughts, they will take actions. They will have their emotions and behavior. And their behavior will lead to their actions and results. And this will keep circulating like that. So scientists and psychologists will talk about the T model, which they talk about thoughts lead to emotion, emotion lead to action. I disagree with that. Because humans don't have thoughts. Humans also have feelings. Your actions, your emotions, it's a function of your behavior. And inside your behavior is your culture. In your culture, laughing loud is a form of happiness, or just a smile is a form of happiness. Which one of them? In some other cultures,
Just a smile.
just a smile. So the behavior will be captured in your culture. When somebody passed away, will you just scream and cry, or you just feel sorry? And like, I had a story from my wife. She had this guy from India who was dead in the hospital after a big accident, and his family was there, and his family was trying to wake him up, and they were just slamming their face, and they're screaming, and they got security for them, and she basically stepped back and told security you cannot interfere, because this is their grieving scheme. They grieve this way. In our culture, grieving is different. That's right.
Much more different. More reserved.
More different. That's right.
Private, right?
But these people, this is the way they grieve. So I disagree with the T models in principle, because with all due respect to the researchers, if I want to look at emotional and behavior of buyers, they are influenced by their behavior. And their behavior will come from their culture. In their culture, they don't use credit card. In their culture, whoever collect credit card will be scam. In their culture, they only use cash. It comes from this behavior. So this is the cycles which is your presentation should be able to break. And all what you need to know is the tricks to break the cycles. So when you stand in front of your audience, you just use them. Any questions?
Right now, we're just getting the theory. The mechanics of it requires the work.
The mechanics of it require that you set and design a presentation. Come here on Saturday and say, okay, I will give a 5 minutes presentation. Here is my presentation style. And people will critique it, give you back whatever you can. You want to have a marketing material, bring it in, and let's just do it.
So that's what Saturdays like more like a practical.
We'll call it working group, and many people will come and love to be the only one in the room, because we work one-on-one. That's right.
Yeah.
Many times we're just having like 1 or 2 people. Sometimes we have the full crew of 9,
What time is it at?
9 to noon. Any questions?
I really want to put this to paper and actually like.
Before you want to talk about the question to you back is, what did you learn today, and how will you apply it?
I have learned.
But you have to raise your voice, because we are videotaping everything.
I've learned that the way I need to shape my sales phone calls need to be quite shifted, based on the application of the 7 different pillars that you have at the other page, and how I communicate in trade shows, how I communicate with others, and how to simplify some things. And I've learned a lot on how I could augment what I'm already doing and work on what I'm doing that's working well, but also to shift it into a different state.
Wow. So I really appreciate you give me a good example of this, because your selected attention was always driven towards the phone calls, because this is the current pain point you have in your life. Although I was presenting on websites, on business cards, on the biggest takeaway, it's supposed to be the sequence of presentations, but your selected attention will always buffer the information and map it toward what?
Well, that and the website, you definitely got me.
Yes, but the biggest challenge you have, this is a good example for you to know how your audience can react if they have their selected attention not taken care of. So I should be at the very beginning say, what about to change what you do right now by starting to have seminars on a regular basis. Let's do it. So this will give you a good example that this is real. Okay? Keith, what do you?
What I take away from today is the importance of the continuity of from your business card to your web site to your Facebook page, so that you have consistency, continuity to it, which I didn't have before, and that's a process that I want to start working on.
And please, if you want to buy a domain name, buy the .com.
Okay.
Figure out the .com available, okay? Don't buy a .ca.
.ca.
.ca you have to buy for a local reason, but you must have a .com.
Okay.
If you want to grow internationally, you
Well,
have
our
to.
company is international. I'm just focusing on the Canadian market.
If you at any time you'll grow internationally, you must focus on the .com,
Got it.
because .com is the real business.
Got it.
Mariana, what do you?
Well, I really got it again that we have to look at that I'm looking at the 4 quadrants and also the 3 stool, at the pain point, defining moment and happy outcome, that, I have to look at these all the time. And another thing was the business card, that was kind of interesting, and I have to have another look at that.
Good. Love it. Okay, so I highly appreciate it. It's we're 6 minutes after the time, so it's 4:06, and.
Thank you.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.